And it's funny, people are like, you guys are in the same show. You must hang out. You know what you're doing. Actually, we don't.
We don't. we don't. But you knew Sam Levinson beforehand.
Yeah.
Because you guys did Assassination Nation, but you knew him.
No, I met him. No, I met him actually in the basement of a premiere at Sundance.
Right.
And then we stood in the corner and just talked for like an hour because I think that's the nature of us. It's funny. People always think that we're the most. I think I probably give off the fact that I am outgoing. I like to talk to people, but at my best, I like to be in a corner talking to one person at a party and really getting to know them. And so we totally, Sam Levinson and I sort of fell in love that night. Because a week later, I was going back to New York, and Sam was going to be in New York, and we had such a bro date at like Soho House, and we were both very nervous. He said he threw up before because he was so nervous.
Right.
Because we both wanted to be each other's friends.
Yes. I know that, but I have that with you, which is why I've been
I have that with you too.
About this conversation.
Are you serious?
Because Sam had he had told me about you, and he had pitched you, this severely talented, deep thespian, which is all I've ever wanted to be. That's God to me. So I was always kind of a little bit intimidated on set every time I saw you because you're about it. You're about your craft. So I'm here now. I was at home sort of last night, like doing a deep dive, doing all this research, like I was about to play you in a movie or something, because I was so nervous. I was like, I need him to understand that I care the same way he does. But I think there's an understanding in that. I think it's like a silent language or something.
But that's what I see in you, to be honest. I really do see, like, as I started to do a deep dive on you and your career and the choices that you've made, and then we'll get to a couple of your films right now. I see the craftsman in you, and someone who's really crafting character and such really in a very deep, extraordinary way. I saw Priscilla and Saltburn, and I was like, very different performances and very different things that you had to do. That is not easy.
I'm Felix.
Oliver.
Yeah. Oliver, I love you. I love you. I love you. Seriously. Okay. Thank you so much.
It's really difficult territory, and even performance-wise, because I can tell from one director to the next, even their style of directing. Sofia Coppola seems to lock off a camera a little bit more and lets the scene play like a play.
Yeah.
And then I started to think, when I saw that, I thought, I wonder, has he done a lot of theater?
I mean, that's sort of, when you grow up acting in Australia, there's not a great hope of making it to America. It seems like the furthest place away possible on the earth. Yeah. So for me, you're kind of bumbling around like, oh, what's an agent? How do I find one of those? So the goal is to basically get to, Sydney Theatre Company, and maybe,
So you're from Sydney?
No, I'm from Brisbane. So I
love Brisbane. And nobody ever talks about Brisbane. That's the only place that I've been to in Australia.
Really?
Yeah, I went to the Brisbane Powerhouse where I did my solo show.
That's where I did my first play.
Are you serious?
Yes, in the
What?
Brisbane Powerhouse.
I love the Powerhouse.
I did a play called Slammed there. It was my first play ever. So you played in there?
Yes, I played. I played at the Brisbane Powerhouse.
I played.
Tread the ball. But that's the only place that I've been. I've been to Brisbane, and people are like, Brisbane's like,
unbelievable.
They're like, Brisbane's like beach town.
Not so much going on there, especially, we try to have the arts, but it's no Melbourne.
But I think maybe it's because Brisbane Powerhouse was such a beautiful artistic place.
It is, yeah. That's where all of our kind of, sort of speaking of the theatre, that's where all my theatre classes were. It was the first place I saw True West put on.
I wonder if we were there at the same time. I feel like.
So what did you do there?
I did a solo show called A Boy and a Soul. It was a solo show that I wrote in 2005, and I performed it, I think, in 2012.
Right. So you're traveling the world, writing plays in 2005 and performing them.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I do need to know about this, because that's sort of what I was looking through, because I've noticed your face kind of across things since I was a teenager, since I started devouring movies, but now you have this sort of, I hate to use words like incredible moment, because we were talking about this earlier, right? About how a career can kind of be looked at as like if I do this kind of thing, then I'll do this kind of thing. And if I'm this kind of actor, then I'll be this kind of actor. And then maybe I'll be a leading man, and then maybe this kind of thing, But your career is so unconventional. But when I look at it, it is an actor's life. Like, you are like the actor's actor. So what is that like, for working so sort of diligently, and I don't want to say in the shadows because I don't want to underplay it, but it feels like in the shadows you just kind of cultivated your craft without a pat on the back or accolades or anything like that, because I'm new to this,
Dude, that's exactly it. I mean, the strangest thing is for me to sit across from you knowing that I've been in the performance space longer than you've been on the planet. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, my career has been about 33 years. Wow. When I started when I was about 21 years old. I'll be 54 this month. And it really, my whole journey has always been about being a multi-hyphenate. I started out, yes, as an actor, but I was always just interrogating the work as a writer and as a director and then as a producer and how to make things. I just wanted to make things.
Yeah.
And I always felt like that the only way I could have some agency in this industry is to own it. And now I ask you this too. Your journey has come from, because you came to America when you were 19?
19, yeah.
19.
Yeah, tail end.
First of all, I think it's seismic what's happening for you too. And you have this incredible fan base. Anyone I bring your name up to, they're just like a huge fan of yours.
Right.
But I love that it's for a couple of reasons though. There are all the young girls and young boys as well who are just like, oh, he's so cute, he's so handsome, he's so stylish, it's wonderful. But because you're charismatic, you're charming, you're good looking. But also, I think they see the craftsman. I think there's something special about you and about what you're willing to learn and do and grow as a craftsman. Now that you're having sort of this moment in film and television, do you still feel like you have freedom and liberty to actually, almost go the opposite of me and just go play in some sandboxes that are not so shiny? Or
I feel the most free in my career that I ever have. Before I started working, I made a decision when I was 15. I read Waiting for Godot, and something happened in my brain. I was at an all-boys Catholic school. I was sort of deeply unsettled. I wasn't happy, and I didn't know why. I had this kind of burning sensation in my gut. And in theater class, I read Waiting for Godot, and I didn't understand it, which I think is kind of the point.
The first time you read it, you don't understand.
Right. But it meant something, and something changed then. Everything that I kind of believed in, unbeknownst to me, just went out the window. Relationships, people, everything. And I became an observer in this kind of, I don't know how else to say it without calling it a church. Acting and performance and story, it became my church. And then from that day, I worked just, 24 hours a day, just devouring everything that I could. I became, my whole sort of personality changed. And then I started making movies, and it went away. I kind of lost it, and I couldn't find it. And for 2 or 3 years, I was in kind of a scramble. Even sort of during Euphoria, I was trying to catch it and find it again, because it's kind of all these rules and ideas start getting put on performance, and then you
about the product.
Yeah, and you, the person, becomes the performance. Like, you bring yourself to the performance. And my whole thing was about losing myself in the performance. But now I'm bringing Jacob Elordi to a performance, which was such a heady, kind of trippy thing. So I had to I've been in the process of losing that, trying to ignore it, trying to shake it as it grows kind of bigger and louder. But strangely enough, I think I'm in a place now where I feel free. I'm hoping to go into the theater next year, to go back and just to kind of,
I would love to see you
reset and keep exploring. I feel like the theater is a place where you can break into a sprint.
Yeah.
But I'm interested, when did you learn that you could do what you do? Like, what made you go into the theater in San Francisco? What let you know as a kid that, what was that kind of thing? Because you said something about your mother. You said in the interview, you said, we are the dreams of our mothers. Or what did you say exactly?
Something like, I believe they're like, yeah, where will we be without the dreams of our mother?
Right. But you're like a living embodiment of.
I'm a mama's boy.
Me too. When you said that, man, I started crying, because I realized, like, I take my mom everywhere with me. But I realized in that moment, I was like, wow, every performance I give is really just an extension of the things that she wanted for me.
Yes.